Huh. I was not expecting that. Alright, well, we're just sticking around.
More to explore.
What am I doing? I think I'm doing story, right? Do I want to keep playing the warrior? I think yes. Alright, well. 25, so we're coming in from here now. Pulling up a thing really quick. One on there. I was just double checking some stuff. I need more water. No, I don't much care about that. Huh. Okay, close that. Alright, here we go. Come on, Taco.
Fury is mine. Almost ready. Now you suffer. Fury is mine.
Come on.
By rate, there's no end.
Come on. Sweet. I don't know what this marker is that I see, but I would love to be able to get on my raptor and go. Thanks, guys. Destroy dredge mortars. Does spiders count? Sure do.
Might makes me right.
Oh, you're big.
Spirits of the wild will.
I don't care about this event.
Might. Give me some. Hit.
You win! Many scripts! Help!
Might makes me right.
Greetings.
This is a really easy heart in the town.
Excelsior.
43 points of interest in this map.
Fury is mine.
You know, I wonder if there's a greatsword I can buy yet. Because the trading company was bugging out on me yesterday. See, I don't believe that there are no greatswords that I can buy.
Might makes me right.
This heart sucks. Killed them while they were invisible, eh? I think it just kicked me off.
Might makes me right.
I don't understand this one. What's up?
Not much. Yourself?
I meant to get water a while ago and never did.
You should do that like now.
Give me a second.
Also, are you playing Borderlands 2 or Guild Wars 2?
I'll break
Guildlands.
Okay. It says you're playing Borderlands 2.
On which one? Twitch?
Twitch, yeah.
What's up, Sam?
Sam's here.
Yep, she's in Twitch. I'm trying restreaming. So it's going to, yeah, that's a good thing to check. It's going towards my Facebook and YouTube and Twitch all at the same time.
Oh, jeez. So yeah, Twitch is the one that's saying Borderlands 2.
Thanks for changing it.
I didn't change it. I tried to, I don't know how.
Okay.
Oh, wait, nope, I got it. I figured it out. Were you playing Borderlands 2 earlier?
Nope.
Okay.
How you doing, Sam? Good. Very cool.
Oh, I'm glad it's God good, not just normal good. Well, you told me you were working on it.
You're avoiding a polymer exam? Man, I hate polymer exams.
Sam, if you get it done early, you can come over. I can give you some gifts that I have.
Ooh. Weekend dredge. Recover. Why do you have gifts? Suspicious.
From cleaning my mom's house, there were some donations that she didn't want.
Isn't Sam like in California?
No, she's in Michigan.
Oh. She came back?
Yeah, to finish up her master's.
Very cool. I thought she was still doing it in California, in grad school. Is that where is grad school? Is that EMU or somewhere else?
I don't know why I'm answering for Sam.
I'm a GA, so I teach labs in person. I'm a Georgia, so I teach practical labs.
Nice. No, she teaches practical labs at a EMU.
I had one of the most annoying hearts. I don't even remember what it was, but it took way the fuck too long to do. Oh, I had to disguise myself as a steam minotaur and kill a bunch of people, like, really slowly as a steam minotaur. It was really awful.
Is it one of those that if you had a group it would be easier because like everyone was ganging up on them?
Yes, but I think you'd still only get it if you did the last kill.
Oh.
That's it. I think that's how hearts work here. You can't party them up.
No, because I remember.
We
Yeah,
had to
well,
complete hearts individually every time we partied.
Yeah, but if it was a mob killing one, if I did any damage, I still got credit.
Right, but that's not what I said.
Okay. I thought. Okay.
Ooh. This map is really, really big.
Mm-hmm.
What you been playing lately, if anything, Sam? The cadence of that was all fucked up, and that's the world we're in now.
But was it the world we were destined to be, or did you throw us on this path?
There's
against
some,
our will?
there's some good evidence that shows that free will doesn't exist, so who knows? Civ 5? You know, I used to like Civ games.
Like 4X in general, or Civ explicitly?
Like 4X when I could play games for hours and hours and hours and not feel guilty.
I just stopped feeling guilty. Solved my issues.
Gotta stand on this gear. This is a fucked vista. Ah! Only like Civ 5. Got 6 for the Switch. And you didn't like it? How come? I am not intimate in the differences between the Civs.
Which Civ was the space one where like you had to colonize a new planet? Fine.
Was that a Civ game?
I thought so.
That's an Anno game.
I might be an Anno, but I
Battle destroyers and collapse their burrows. In Civ 5 you could with an expansion.
yeah, beyond that. Yeah. I love this candle. It smells nice. This one-
Oh man, I'm almost done with this fucking collection that I've been doing since the beginning of playing ever.
Nice.
It's worms. I need to kill destroyers. How's your RPG going? It seems that like I have befriended every angle of that RPG you're in from like different directions, which I think is funny. And I still haven't met Josh. There it is.
Gaining adrenaline.
Very good. A veteran destroyer harpy.
Might makes me right.
About to get back on the boat? Is the boat an in-game element, or do you just mean like the plan of playing more often? In-game, very cool. What are you playing? Human Bard Paladin. That sounds like a good combo.
I thought it was gonna be D&D.
I would have accepted either answer and then clarified from there, as they were both correct. Unless she just straight up lied. It's like, what are you playing? Pathfinder? Role playing basic?
Yeah, we're playing actually second at D&D.
I had a night terror one night and woke up in love with Thaco. You picked Bard and then no one else picked any healers, so you multiclass. Man, I feel like I've played a lot of RPGs and I've played a lot of D&D. So I really feel like I have had this really janky experience with D&D because I've never been in a party that was balanced or in a table that cared about having a balanced party. So like when we couldn't heal, that just was our fucking life, and then we bought extra potions or something, or like the encounters were tuned a little. Like that's how it's always been for me. So it's really weird when people are like, we didn't have the tank or the healer, and I'm like, because that literally doesn't cross my mind.
It's because people are used to like gamified MMO stuff. I feel like.
Although I suppose the only game I did actually care about that for was like the 2 sessions of 4th Ed that I played, but that's because that game was designed with that on purpose.
Yeah, but like 4th Ed was kind of trash.
It was really good for exactly what it was, and not for anything I wanted it to be.
Didn't Carmel get really far into it, and then he stopped when the group realized like upkeep itself was like 30 minutes of game time?
I didn't hear that story.
Yeah, because 4th Ed was his first time playing D&D in general, so like, yeah, but they enjoyed it, so they kept playing.
I mean, that's fine. That's cool.
Yeah, but still, no, I understand.
Well, there's actually a lot of weird upkeep in my game, and it's called Cthulhu.
Oh, that was quick.
And it's really funny, and it's just like, all right, guys, pull out your calendar. What's the date? What are we doing today? And then they have to like they have to pull out their itinerary. Their upkeep and their notes is their itinerary. I played Paladin for a little while in 5th. That was kind of cool.
Hello.
Did you see what I did?
No, I'm on Twitter.
One second. I've got two throwing axes basically, and I threw one to engage the fight, and then he drop kicked me in the chest and sent me flying. But he was almost dead, so I just threw the other one and walked away. And I'm like, "Fuck you! I got you anyway."
Nice.
All right, what's up? Hey, what's up?
Hi.
How are you?
I figured this was easier than just trying to add to the chat.
If you wish.
Fair.
I like Paladin, and it made sense because my character already had a built-in like somewhat religious background, so it made narrative sense for her. But also we had to like tweak it because Paladins are supposed to like be strength. My strength is a -2. I have a strength of 6 because I rolled so shitty with stats.
I'm really surprised you didn't go cleric in that case.
Yeah, but it didn't make sense for like. Yeah, just for like my character's personality to make sense. So we like broke it so that I could do Paladin, but also I can do like no actual damage. The only like spells I can do damage is like Vicious Mockery. Anything else I can like try. I have Smite now as a Paladin, but also I'm not great at hitting things in the first place. So
yeah,
like,
you have Smite at -2.
yeah, so it's fun. Like I said, I'm essentially our healer. I'm probably only gonna take one more level in Paladin so I can do my my pact, and then I'll just like start doing more bard stuff. But yeah, who knows? Maybe eventually someone will learn a healing spell.
No.
Fuck it, no.
I mean, Alan is only ever gonna use Eldritch Blast. Eldritch Blast.
It's the only spell I have that's a damaging spell.
It's technically a cantrip, isn't it?
Yeah.
Does that mean it's kind of shitty?
It's like the only good warlock cantrip because you can do. Is it what, like a D10, Alan?
Yeah, like I can do like 2d10 of damage.
Okay, my scale is all off. That seems like a lot. Is it?
No, it is. That is more than I can do if I hit with my rapier and use its divine smite. So it's like, and it levels up as you level up. You get more d10s. So it's actually kind of like an OP cantrip.
It's designed that way because like that's the one damaging spell because the warlock has real shit everything else.
It's
Yeah.
really cool. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've played D&D, and like I said, my scale is all off. So like I've been playing a lot of Call of Cthulhu, and in Call of Cthulhu, 1d4 worth of damage is like, that's a lot. Yeah, that's a lot. And then 1d6 is you've been severely wounded, and like 1d8 is you are in real danger of having a major wound, if not outright dying.
Yeah.
1d10 is you are nearly guaranteed a major wound and a high chance of outright dying.
Yeah.
A 1d12 is you are going to die.
Like, there's no doubt about it. You just will die. Yeah. Well, Alan, I don't know if Robert, if you heard it in the chat, but in not this last session, but the session before last, I used the only diamond I had to cast Revivify on a wolf.
Wait, what? Why?
We got sucked into a storybook, right? And I befriended these wolves because I healed them. And I rolled really well for animal handling, which is amazing because I can never roll anything higher than like a 10. And my animal handling is like a +2, so I rolled really well for frogs. And one of them died, and I felt really sad. And I was guessing that because we were in a book and it wasn't really real, that I would get my shit back, but you don't get your shit back. So I used my diamond, and then I needed it to cast Revivify.
Two things. One, Weasel Spleen, hello and welcome. I am also getting that. It's probably because the update that's about to happen in like less than an hour. And two, why the fuck would you think if it happened in a book, it wouldn't happen in real life? Did you not watch Blue's Clues?
No! It was like we got sucked into a storybook and time wasn't moving on the outside because I had been casting Sending every time I woke up to the person who had been who had been helping.
This reinforces my Blue's Clues position.
I don't know. I thought it was like a story that it was going to be like, oh, it was a dream and it wasn't going to be real. Also because like we were getting our asses handed to us, we kept almost dying, and I was like, there's no way we can actually die in this storybook. So Robert.
Why would you think that? I am more convinced I'm going to die in a storybook. Do you know, Grims?
Our friend Robert, who you've met, Rob, it was egging me on, being like, "You can't let the wolf die." And then we finished like the story of the storybook, and we spit out, and the wolves are still in the books, and they don't exist. So like, it was a waste. And then of course the next session, not one of our like PCs, but an NPC died, and I wouldn't have been able to cast Revivify anyways because I had used my 4th level spell to try and dispel magical portal, but like. I wouldn't have been able to do it because I didn't have a diamond.
Oh, I got that heart. What level are you people?
We're 8. I have 2 levels of Paladin. I can't remember for 7 or 8, or one of those.
Dude, I have never played D&D higher than level 6, and I really liked it that way.
Well, I'm like excited to like actually get. Like, I really want us to level up twice. Like, I want us to level up once so I can get my pact from a paladin, because that's like, other than that, you don't get anything else good in paladin. I feel like to almost level 10, and I don't want to do that.
Yeah,
I don't want to go that many
paladins.
levels. So it's like, I'll get level 3 where I get the bonuses for my pack, and then I'm just going to do the rest of my levels in Bard. But like, because I haven't taken any Bard spells the last 2 times we leveled up, it's in Paladin, I haven't picked up any like new good spells for Bard, and I've like dropped off things like Thunderstep or like Dimension Doors, things that would be really helpful, especially because Alan's character is like off studying right now, so it's like just me, our ranger, and our fighter. So it's like our fighter's really the only one who can be like in the melee, and the rest of us like can't really handle it because we'll die. Like, I kind of need something to like get away quickly, and I don't have it. He's bad.
A side effect of this game, not to ignore what you just said, but very quickly, I watch people do stuff, and I'm like, I want to do that. So every time I'm just like, that's a Mesmer. Mesmer's a fucking sweet. I want to be a Mesmer, and then I never actually progress anything because I'm just always swapping characters.
Hey, who wants to start looking with apartments with me? Even though I should have done this a while ago.
I already pulled apartments for you like a month ago. I sent you multiple links.
And they all closed.
Okay, well that's because you should have applied to them a month ago when I sent them to you.
Well, thanks, Dan. I'm gonna remember this next time you need help.
Let's find Alan's actual place of residence live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch.
I don't see how this could go wrong at all.
That sounds like a great idea.
Okay, Sam, can you be my responsibility buddy?
What do you need me to do?
Can you shame me into looking for apartments after I get off of work today?
What do you think I've been doing for the past couple weeks when I keep bringing it up every time I talk to you?
Why doesn't the fear of homelessness do that to you?
Because he knows he can crash at Summer's place if he fucking...
Well, it's not even that. Like, this is a thing that I know my friends have done before. Like, it's not fun, but, like, it's possible.
Do you not remember me being homeless?
No, because you were not homeless when we were friends, but you told me it
that's fair.
was awful.
Yeah, being homeless
But, like,
sucks.
Yeah, but, like, it's not the end of the world.
Great either, though.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying it's great. It's just, like, it's hard for me to sit down and do this. That's all I'm saying.
Let's see here, we got that vista, then we come out this way, we go out that way. This must be a jump puzzle. How long has it been since I played D&D? Did we play D&D in college, right? Even attempted?
Yeah. Yes, we did, because we attempted 2 different campaigns.
I graduated 2015, so it's been like half a decade. It's been like 6 years since I played D&D. Yeah. And in my mind, because I'm not really great with names, and well, I'm better with names than I am with faces. You are still the crane who left.
That is like 8 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I haven't thought.
Actions have consequences.
I even left all of my cards and everything, so you guys could like find a replacement for me.
Which was very kind.
You guys never did. That's not my fault.
Well, it's not for lack of trying.
Yeah.
Other people weren't as easily convinced.
What does state mean?
Getting more card players is not usually all that hard, but like Crane, like Scorpion and Mantis and Spider, maybe even Lion to some extent, like they all have like a pretty normal appeal to them. So it's hard to fill a Crane slot unless there's somebody who's like, I am a Crane.
I like Crane. I like them a lot.
They got super cool in the new stuff. That's now also dead.
Yay, things die.
Casa polymers were the dice assigned to I hate polymers.
Hey, Fab, just eating them.
What, Alan? What were you just asking about, by the way?
What does open house date mean? Is that like a tour date or like?
Yeah, it's like
date?
when they're letting people come in and look at the apartment.
Okay, thank you.
I just want to finish this damn heart. So I'm currently doing this restream thing, which is really cool, but the main issue with it is that it doesn't give me any of my notifications for Facebook or YouTube.
That's fine.
It's currently set up so that if something happens on Twitch, it'll tell me. So if like somebody followed or whatever, I'd see it, but not over on YouTube. Gotta pick up the zucchini. Hey Sam, did you know, were you aware, has anyone told you that I am a designer on the 7C card game that's coming out?
Oh! I did not know that. That's so cool.
Yeah, it's really hype. We have a new article coming out this next month about it, and it is showing off 3 of our cards, and they look fucking hype.
Cool. I'm looking.
Oh, I've already got the heart.
I'm just gonna contact this person.
Alright. You know, our D&D campaign originally was started with the fact that, like, hey, we're going to be pirates, and we've done no actual pirate stuff really yet.
So here you got frustrated when Robert outed himself as a doppelganger.
Yeah, I would have preferred not to know. Or like to learn it in game.
Are you
know?
aware that it was my doing that convinced him you should do that?
Yes, he did mention that to me.
All right. Which parts? Because I'm ready to fight about it. What? Why did you not like that?
Because I think it would have been better to find out in game as Andromeda, and I don't particularly like knowing information that I feel like can subconsciously influence and cause me to like metagame. You know?
Sure. When you're role playing, are you aware you're living in a fictional world when you're playing the game? Oh, great. So you are metagaming every moment of every game forever.
I just think it would have been a better reaction because I think when like we find out in game, because it'll happen eventually, or Andromeda will die and never know.
And yet everything they had been telling me for weeks is that it had been going on for months, and the clues that they had been telling you weren't clues that you never actually had access to and had no way of gaining knowledge, and it was just the GM and Robert basically steepling their fingers going ha 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 excellent when there was no way for them to tell you.
Right. Well, and all their points about how like we've been dropping hints, but they've been dropping hints like that Sam was picking up on, but not the character. Like certain things about like Robert's like character class, like he has sneak attack now damage, which is like, but then he like mentioned that he hadn't taken a level of rogue, which is weird, right? Like Tanzanite was still a ranger, and I was like, okay, well then how are you having sneak attack damage? So I knew some weird stuff was going on, but like in game as character wise, like they weren't any different, you know, or not noticeably different yet. With how many crazy stuff that had been going on. Bye, Ellen.
Bye. Did he say he's leaving? Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he is heading out.
So, yeah, I wasn't trying to tell him that he needed to do that. I was trying to tell him that the way that he and Josh, the GM, have set it up is that they've put all of the, investment in hiding it from players so that now, from what I have heard... I suspect there's going to be very little payoff because it's hidden from the players. The payoff has to be like in the players' minds, but the players also aren't really being given information. They're just hoping they fucking get it. Whereas if it had been set up from the outset that there is a discrepancy between player information and character knowledge, there could have been way more scenes where like Alan was telling me that his character trusts Roberts. Like, they could have engineered scenes where the players all know that Alan's character is being fooled, but Alan's character will go along with him and do things that we know metagame is bad, but in-game makes complete fucking sense, and then you get that dissonant knowledge of creating much more interesting scenes because you have the knowledge to do so. But because that hadn't been set up that way, that was now impossible, so it just ended up having, like, I assert that it was going to fall flat no matter how it happened, because it was focused on player information without actually giving players information.
Yeah, I mean, I see where you're coming from, and one of the reasons I was annoyed, one, because I would have preferred to find out him, and two, I felt like part of the reason Josh and Rob told us was just because they had known for so long, and they wanted that enjoyment to be like, ha, look what we had pulled over on you, type thing.
Right. And firstly, I want to say that's fucked.
Yeah.
I have kept secrets from my players. They're not allowed to trust me again.
Yeah, they're like, we've dropped all these hints, and I was like, okay, well, you've dropped some outgame hints, but like I ignored those when I'm playing my character because my character doesn't know that information.
Right.
Like, yeah. So I think that's probably one of the reasons that upset me. I don't know, because I think I just would have been able. I think I like surprises, and I think that's why I didn't want to know. It's because it would have been more enjoyable to have found it out in game if it was like because they're a doppelganger, right? So it's like it could have happened like they died or they like started to die or something, and then they got referred into a doppelganger, and it would have been like, or they betrayed us, and like that moment of betrayal, you know.
But here's the thing: I agree with you that it would have been better if you could find out in game, and yet you've had months of evidence showing that they're not going to give you information in game to find out.
True.
Which is why I said it's fucked from both sides.
Fair. Yeah, I've gotten over it now, and it's fine, and I'm confident that I'm hyper aware of the fact that like I'm trying to make decisions that are not like metagaming about it specifically. But yeah, I was. See. At the time, I was upset and I had to like hop off the call for a couple minutes because I was. Also, the way it was presented, it was like.
Yeah, I have no
were
idea
la-
how he did it.
They were kind of. It was like right before we played last week. And they were kind of laughing. And the thing is, we had played a small like 6-session like one-off thing while our DM was waiting for the Candlekeep guide to come out because we were about to go to Candlekeep in Forgotten Realms.
Sure.
So he wanted the book out. So we kind of like did some one-shots, and we did specifically the 6th one that was set in Baldur's Gate in the same world, but like at a different time we were playing different characters. That part of the plot of it was doppelgangers, and the character I played did get kidnapped and replaced by a doppelganger, and they kind of knew because it was like they had seen me on my own get like kidnapped, and then the next session I was like, oh, I'm totally fine, I just fly my way out, it's fine. I'm like, okay, well, that's suspicious, that's weird. And then it ended with my doppelganger ended up like killing all their characters, so like kidnapping them. So it's like we had already done kind of like a doppelganger thing, and I like, yeah, it was just so like when they brought it up, it was hard to tell if they were joking or not.
See, I mean, and then that's a really good reason to be upset, because that's even worse, because I'm not trying to like tell people how to play their game. I wanted to just try to make it clear, like, the metagame reality of how this is being presented. And if you want to keep secrets from your players, then like there's multiple different ways it can go. So just, this is gonna be a minor rant. Hear me out. You can either keep the information from your players, and when you do that, you then have to be able to give information to those players when they discover things, or better yet, make them discover things so that they do actually learn. But that wasn't happening.
No.
You can then tell the players what's happening and then expect their characters to not act with that information, because we already acknowledged we're always metagaming all the time, so we're just going to roleplay. Yeah. And then that creates a different feeling, because there's no sense of discovery, because you're not actually learning anything. You already know it. Instead, now you're creating a sense of tension and drama, because you're working, you're thinking dissonantly, which can create really cool scenes. These are the two ways you can go. Either give the players don't give them the information and then give it to them, or have them discover it, or tell them straight up and tell them straight up and have their characters act differently. The worst way to do it is keep information from your players, never actually give them any information, not be able to create any dissonant thought or scenes of tension because they don't know they're fucking up. And then when you do tell them, don't do it in game and then laugh at their ignorance. That is the worst way to do it.
That's and that's how it happened.
So
I hopped off the call, and then because we were on like a Meet or whatever, Google Meet, and then I called Leah on the phone and was like, "Hey, I need you to be 100%. I'm very serious right now. Is this real? Like, is this a joke, or like, is this real?" And like, because it was like I was still like, it was like 5 minutes in, and I was like, still like, I'm not sure if this is a real thing or not. Like, I can't tell if you're just fucking with me. Like,
right, and then that level of distrust is not good at the table.
No, I was definitely like meaner in the session than I normally would have been, and I felt kind of bad about it. But then towards the end, it was fine. But I'm also just like, and then I think that made me angrier because I felt like it affected my playing, and it did because I was angry.
Of course it did, because you're you and you're playing the game.
Yeah.
And you can't not metagame, otherwise we have other problems. If you are unaware you're in a fictional world, we have other problems at hand.
Yeah. But I mean, you're totally right, because there's been no opportunities for us to like, it's never been like, ooh, make a perception check, or like, to see if we notice like something weird going on with Tanzanite.
Did they tell you about the letter and the names thing?
Are you talking about the name of the doppelganger?
Yeah, on the letter or the notes or whatever. Did they tell you about that? Because that was.
I don't.
So, go ahead.
I don't know if you're referring to the like small campaign we did where it's like the character that Robert's playing was on that list of names from the like. Yes, it's like it's not Anus Lickus, but that's what it's Analysis something, but it looks like Anus Lickus.
Analysis. Yeah. So Leah came over to play my Call of Cthulhu game or whatever the day before. At some point Robert came over and we started talking about the game. And like every single time I talked to them about your game, they mention that no, it's okay. They've had hints, and I'm like, oh, sweet. What hints have they had? Like, well, they found a list of doppelganger names, and I'm like, okay, cool. And Robert's character is named has that name. I'm like, this is fucking awesome. This is great. When did they discover that he has that name? Well, they haven't. How will they discover that he has that name? Well, they won't.
Yeah.
And then I was talking to Robert, and I literally said, then how is it a hint?
It's not. I think that was another frustration. Is like they both were like, we've been dropping hints, like, and I was like, what hints? I don't. Yeah. So I think it'll be fine now, and I think it's gonna be interesting to see how it plays out because I don't think it's gonna come up for a while because like the character, the doppelganger over Tanzanites or Rangers, they already attack from a distance most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So like now that I think they're whatever their doppelganger is like a rogue. So, but like the damage doesn't look that different. They already were distance like bow fighter. Like that's what it looks like they're still doing. They just seem to be doing more damage now, which is like also not something that like in game you can necessarily see. It just kind of looks like your character got better, right? So like
No.
and it's not even like that significant. So.
I mean, I mean, come on, man! It's role playing and there's flavor. If people are people asked to describe their attacks, or do they just roll damage or whatever?
They are asked to describe their attacks, but because like Robert's character Tanzanite just like hides all the time, and my character has shitty perception. Like I've rolled perception to see if I can find them before, so I could like try and go like do like a buff spell or something, you know, like.
He was a ranger and now he's a rogue.
Yeah, the doppelganger that took him over is a rogue.
So there's a fucking difference between like I'm gonna kneel in the bushes and hide and track this person like I do my prey, and then I'm gonna shoot an incapacitating shot versus I'm gonna sneak up behind him and fucking grin evilly as I stab him or shoot him in his weak points to cause as much damage as possible. And even though that does a little bit more damage, you could be like, that's a different approach, my dude. Why is your approach different?
The thing that's the approach is not super different though, because Robert always usually plays rogues anyways. So the way he was playing his ranger was very roguelike already. So that's why I was like, there's been no discrepancies for like my character to realize that Tanzanite's any different. Like.
So wait, are you telling me that the reason why it was hard to interpret the hints that did exist was because of the metagaming knowing that he plays rogues?
Well, just like in general, the way Tanzanite was attacking, Tanzanite always
he
played distance.
He played it similarly.
Yeah.
Right. And there's no way for your character to know how his past characters in other completely unrelated games would play. So it's a level of metagame bringing you to the realization that he's playing it similar to other characters.
I mean, that's not what I was getting at. I just meant that, like, him playing Tanzanite, he was playing her as a much more sneaky ranger is what I meant when I said more roguelike.
Sure. I want to be clear that I'm not trying to attack you. I'm trying to say metagaming is such an integral, necessary part of the game that people trying to eliminate it is a fool's errand and actively bad, because your want to ignore your metagaming was also the thing that was where you were like, hey, wait, this character is just like all his other characters, so I see no reason to be suspicious. Even if they were trying to grant hits charitably, which I don't think they were.
No. I mean, maybe metagaming was the wrong word for then why I didn't want to know the information. I think it was just that, like, I thought it was... God.
I mean, I agree it'd be totally more exciting if it happened in-game.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like one of those things where it's like the DM, I was talking with my DM the other day, where it's like, when I take notes on our session, I specifically don't take notes on things that my character wasn't there for. And so, like, if it was one of the people who don't take notes, it's like, well, if they didn't take notes, like, I didn't notes on it because, like, it's not information that I necessarily would have.
I disagree with that approach, but I understand it.
Yeah.
But also, when I talked to Robert about all of this, I didn't expect him to talk to Josh and out the secret immediately. And if they did, I 100% didn't expect them to just do it and not do it in-game.
Yeah, no, it was just like before our session started, and it was like, what? Okay, now we have to play now? Okay. Yeah. He was an interesting thing.
Yep.
But yeah, it should be fun because Alan's gonna rejoin the campaign soon.
I hear.
Will be fun.
I hope he has more fun this time. I don't fully understand what has happened to that game, and I'm not in it, so I don't need to. I just there's now that I'm slowly meeting all of these people again. this game keeps popping up in my life.
You just get to hear about it all the time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
May the spirits of the wild watch over.
Oh, gross. This is disgusting.
BRB, I gotta go to the bathroom.
Key.
You know, as I think on it, I think I have even more thoughts on it.
Mm-hmm.
Which are, the two are sometimes, not just in RPGs, but just like in general.
Yeah.
We make things that are just for us, and that's okay. So like, the first point being is there's no problem with a player hidden information backstory if it's crafted specifically just to be fun and like your own thing. Like, we can make things for ourselves. But if it is supposed to interact with the other players, then if it's a secret to the incredible extent that no one knows anything about it, then they can't interact with it. So like, they can't do anything. So it's either just for you or it's not just for you.
Yeah.
Sees that this
Uh-huh. Yeah. Because it was only them that knew. Like, it's not like we're a game where other people besides like Leah are watching and like know everything that's going on know everyone's backstory and things like that.
Did you say other than Leah?
Yeah. Because Leah watches our games.
Talk to... Okay. Yep.
all things grow dark.
Yeah. I was very pleased when she said she enjoyed Cthulhu.
Hey, good. That makes me happy because I know that she like didn't want to play D&D when we started our campaign, but now because she's like getting back into RPing. She's like, I think I might play like an NPC that pops in for like a session or two. I'm like, yeah.
I think she wanted to see another table.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. She definitely did because she's had issues with some of the players at her tables before playing with them.
Mm-hmm. I am, Oh, wow, this is cool. I've never heard stories of a D&D... So this is actually really weird. I've never heard of a D&D table that didn't have fucking issues, even though I know they exist. And yet, my tables tend to almost never have any issues because I live pretty hard by the adage, no D&D is better than bad D&D. Not that yours is bad, that's not the implication.
No, but I think you're right. Like, it's better to like just not play than to play with like really shitty. Yeah. Yeah. Because I've been in campaigns like that before, or like groups like that, where you're trying desperately to hold on because you just want to play, and it's just bad. It's not fun.
I'm always confused why other people don't GM more.
I don't know either, because I like GMing. Like when COVID first started and we were doing like one shots, like the people who were, and then even when we took our break, it was mostly like me who was taking over and like GMing so that our DM could play.
It's super cool. I have gotten to the point where I am the forever GM, and I like it that way.
There is some kind of joy of like having that control.
Well, like I said, I've been playing a lot of Call of Cthulhu, right?
Yeah.
So in that game, there's a lot of mystery and investigation. And I would hate to be a player in that because I need to know. So when I don't know, that's infuriating.
Okay, so one of the one shots I ran when we had our break is I ran this one, and I full on stole the plot from like a Nancy Drew click and point detective game.
It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, so it was like a mystery. It's like they got hired to like come to this manor, and like see this woman was worried that her daughter who had like married this like baron or whatever like was become a recluse and like wasn't answering her letters anymore. And then they find clues that like it looks like the woman's turning into like a werewolf. Like she's been cursed or something and she's hiding and she's like eating raw steaks and all these things. And then at the end it finds out that no, it's just her stepdaughter has been like gaslighting her and like psychically brainwashing her to think make her think she's turning into a werewolf.
Oh wow.
So that was like a fun one shot to run of them just trying to like finding secret passages and everything. And like trying to find these clues or like they found like some weird riddle that they're trying to solve, and I really enjoyed that. Especially because people like pick up half a clue, right? And then they run in the total wrong direction. It's so funny to watch.
As I have been running more and more investigation things, I have taken... That is true, and that is fun, and I like it. However, I let them do that to themselves. I never introduce red herrings. Because they're going to confuse themselves enough. They're going to do it to themselves. I don't need to help them get confused.
Yeah. Yeah, when we ran it, there was like a couple secret passageways they could find, and they found one that was like a one-way secret passageway that I did not expect them to find, but they somehow did. And then they were so obsessed, they were stuck in it for like 30 minutes, and I'm like, eventually they moved on, but I wanted to be like, you can't get it open from your side. The whole point is it's an exit only, and you're at the exit part of it. Like, you can't get out this way. Like, I don't know how to eventually I like was like, okay, you hear like I think I gave him some reason to like move on, but it was just like I was like,
did you explicitly tell them they cannot do it, or did you give them in-game reasons to believe that?
I ended up giving them in-game reasons. So it's like it was behind like a heavy, thick stone wall that they like could not. They tried to spell magic that didn't work, or they did detect magic, which is how they found it. I think because they found something near it. That like it was like in a room that I didn't expect them to use detect magic, and I don't know why I didn't expect that. Honestly, I think I guess I'm not used to using people using detect magic. Like people actually, even though it's like a good spell, I feel like people rarely actually use it. And then it was like I was like, do an insight check, please, and I was like, okay, yeah, you rolled high enough. This is a very thick stone wall. Unless you have some major spell like Stone Shape or something like that, you don't think it's likely you could get through it.
I gotta be real, and I mean this. Okay, I'm gonna say this honestly and in the most loving way possible. Really, your group makes me think of high school when I didn't know RPGs, and it really makes me want to run D&D with them. Because I'm not saying like I'm a better GM. That is not my point. My point is I am very much a different GM.
Yeah. What a lot of the people in the group are like don't have a lot of experience with D&D. Like this is their first major actual campaign. So that's fun. I get to remind our fighter of like what they can do each turn, like at least once a session. They're like, okay, and I'm like, well, don't forget, like you can do your offhand strike. You can attack again if you would like. Like you have this ability that you can do. Like,
See, yeah, that's why that's why one thing I like about Call of Cthulhu is that it's like really, really easy.
yeah,
So like, I would really hate it if I had to keep reminding people their abilities, and that becomes more true the more complicated the game is.
yeah, which D&D can get really complicated, especially as you level up and you get higher levels.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps you made
Um,
a good choice.
And I love our fighter, but like I do feel like sometimes they just like,
Was corrupted and too dangerous.
because they know I'll help them out when they're trying to figure something out, they just like don't bother to learn their own abilities.
You should just fucking kill him. That's only half serious.
Fighter. Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's only a half joke. Just like, because did I ever tell you like one of the very first interactions I ever had with Ben in an RPG? Because I'm constantly worried that I'm actually a failure of a GM, and it's the GM's plight. Don't worry, it's how it is. So
No, I mean, every time I run a one shot, I'm always just like, did you guys have fun? Are you lying to me? You're lying to me that you had fun.
you're lying to me.
Yeah.
But so Ben made this like warrior adventure guy who's like 15, 16, and he's like, I want to be a hero of the legends, like
Yep.
and the folk tales, and go out for love because he wants to like impress this chick. And he
Yeah.
goes out in the woods and like gets in a fight with the group gets in a fight with a couple bandits, and he runs down the hill dodging the trees, and he's like, have at you, villain. And then they just like parry his sword and stab him in the hip and throw him into a tree. And he's like, I very much appreciate that my character didn't get to act heroic in that scene because he needed to be cowed. And I'm like, yeah, your character was being really dumb.
Yeah. Like, that's what needed to happen, and it did, so it's good. Yeah, well, Alan and I and God, who else was it? We did like Ben was GMing. We started like the little mouse guard one. We only did like 2 sessions, and I never actually.
Mouse
then,
guard
like,
looked
holidays
cool.
happened. It was fun because it's very simplistic when it comes to stuff like in like mechanics.
Mm-hmm.
And it was great because I got to play like a braggart, and I forgot how fun that can be to play someone who just lies and like about because like they're just their stuff. I got to almost convince small children that they should go like join the mouse guard because I definitely killed this snake, and look at this sword that I got from a fang. The snake that I definitely did that.
What
It was great. Because Ben was like, "Are you trying to or what? I'm confused. What are you trying to tell these kids right now?" And I'm like, "No, I'm just lying." And he's like, "Okay, yeah, roll for me."
out of curiosity, since like you guys are, ooh, what is this? This is junk mail. Your game is picking back up, which is really cool. So it's unlikely to happen now. But I just have the vague question: how likely are any of those players to play something that's not D&D? Because selling not D&D to D&D players is often a
Your
fool's
favorite thing?
errand. No, I've gotten away from it because I'm just sick of trying to convince them. It's usually like, hey guys, I got this sweet ass game I want to run. You want to play one shot? What is it? Not D&D? No, fuck you then.
I don't know, because okay, so we do sometimes for like fun just with us, right? We'll do this game called Weave.
I've heard of that game.
Yeah, so we'll play Weave every now and then, and that's what Robert will GM for. He'll do Weave because they own it. So I think Robert would be open to it. I definitely would be. Summer, I don't think so as much, unless it was something that was really simple like Weave, where it's like very watered down mechanics. If it was anything more complicated than like maybe like the Fate system, you know, she'd probably be like, no, it's too much for me. I already don't understand D&D. And I don't know about our DM.
I mean, I don't really blame her for not understanding D&D. I don't think D&D easy.
Reason I know D&D is because I listen/watch enough like D&D podcasts that just like absorbing in them, I've picked up 5e rules like that. I just know them because I've heard them being used.
Oh, are you a ruse lawyer?
I'm not like no, but I know. It's why when my friend is a fighter, I can be like, oh, like you have this ability, right? Like
I remember one time, many years ago now, maybe like 12-ish, I got in a fucking fight with my roommate over just like the talk of D&D. Because I'm like, dude, like the rules are there and they're important for sure, but they can be broken. No, the rules is written, and I'm like, right, but when you do that, you lose the ability to tell some stories. It's like, how? And I'm like, imagine you're playing an elf, and then somehow some entity, some creature is able to put you to sleep. You can't. I don't go to sleep. Right, but you see, you're missing the fucking point, right? Because it can make you sleep now. And he just like couldn't wrap his head around that.
Yeah. No, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that has been like a problem in our group of friends before, just like for playing board games. Fighting over rule stuff like that. Like it has been like I've seen Alan, Robert, and Josh get into it about rules like that. So and he's fine, but he can be a little bit of a rule lawyer when it comes to stuff like that. When it comes to like certain things in D&D.
I am 100% a rules lawyer in competitive games when I'm in a tournament.
Yeah.
Every time. 100% of the time.
Yes.
So anyway, I'm not explicitly offering. I am just planting a seed of maybe I'll run a thing. For myself even, because like, I don't know. It's been a long time since I've done something online.
Yeah. What I think, like, before, we always, like, this group of friends, we had tried to play D&D before, but because we, like, some of us lived in Michigan and some of us lived in New York or whatever, we were just like that. And it was, like, being COVID, where it's like, oh, we're all gonna be online now when we're doing it. That's kind of what made us, and now, because I've tried to do, like, RPing online before, and it's, like, hard. There's difficulties in it, right? Like...
Yeah, it's definitely, way different.
Yeah. Yeah, we've tried to institute the rule that, like, unless your character is talking, you need to mute your mic, because we talk over each other so fucking much.
Wow, that's... I ran... Actually, since you watch so many of them, I'm not going to claim they're any good. I've got some videos of my Call of Cthulhu stuff, and, like, I didn't have that issue. I'm really surprised that your group does.
It might just be because maybe they're new or like newer to D&D. I don't know. We talk over each other a lot, but I'm not gonna lie. There's one of our players that like if they are not currently talking, if we're in a fight, if we're in combat, and it's not currently their turn because they're the fighter, so they like they just hit stuff, right? It's not like they have a complicated like a super like, oh, I'm gonna try to use this spell in this area effect or whatever. I can tell that they're like on Twitter or watching TikTok, and I'm just like, can you pay attention to the king, please? Like, that's the one thing that sucks about being online. Is like you can't like smack them and be like, "Hey, stop going on your phone." Like,
it's wildly disrespectful.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's gotten a little bit better because we've been better at calling them out, but not gonna lie, sometimes it's very frustrating.
Huh.
Vigil will cure what ails this world.
Do not touch me. What do you think?
There's
So
a. Go ahead.
Your Cthulhu game you're running right now. Is it everyone's in person right now? Is it all in person, or is like some people online?
Everyone's in person. It's just 4.
That's what I figured.
Me, Cassie, our roommate Richard, and then Leah's the only outside person.
Yeah.
And Leah has been super excellent. We tried out a couple other people beforehand, and they sucked.
Oh no.
Well, like one guy was just like shockingly flaky and would not get back to us ever. So then when I messaged him to be like, all right, so you're out because we can't get a hold of you, he didn't even reply.
Oh, fun. You're like, cool, thanks. Good to know that you're like that committed.
And the other one, she was gonna get vaccinated,
Uh-huh.
and then she said once she's vaccinated, because she works out a lot. That's like her thing. So she had been working out at a gym where there were like 6 cases of confirmed COVID, and they weren't shutting down. And she was going there before vaccinated, and then she said that she was going to go there more often after vaccinated. We're like, nope, you have bad judgment skills, so you're just not going to be around us.
Like, you realize you can still carry COVID once you're vaccinated. You just, like, won't get sick from it. Yeah.
So, and then those two happened, and then, like, I'd always been wanting to play with Robert and Leah, but, like, they also weren't vaccinated, and he works retail.
Yeah, and Robert had COVID. Like, he got COVID, so, like, you know.
Yeah, which is not a good indicator.
Yeah, uh-huh.
So then, but now people are getting vaccinated, and we're feeling a little bit better about it. And funny thing, talked to them about it at a restaurant once, and Leah said she was super interested, and Robert said that, like, he did not outright say, I'm not interested in Call of Cthulhu, but he's like, that doesn't appeal to me. And I'm like, oh no, he said, I don't like Call of Cthulhu based on what I know about it. And then I asked him what he knows about it, and like, it wasn't just like a taste difference. Like, he had errors. Like, he did not know what Call of Cthulhu was. But I didn't feel like correcting him because he was so certain.
Right. You're like, well, you're already very convinced in your opinion that you don't like this, so I'm not going to waste the time to try and convince you otherwise. Yeah.
Also, just to say selfishly, I am desperately curious how it's going to go once Leah sees your guys' table and my table, because again, not that I'm saying mine's better, but mine will be very different.
Oh, it's very different.
So I'm just so interested in how she's going to perceive and articulate that.
Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't remember if she had already done. I couldn't. No, I guess I should have done that because Lexi's coming this week, and this would have been the second one this week. Yeah. Yeah, 'cause she didn't bring it up when I talked to her yesterday about how it went, how the session went. I should talk about it.
Something new every day.
Talk to her about. I'm sorry, I was reading a thing. My session.
Yeah, no, because she didn't bring it up when I talked to her this week to see how it went. Because for some reason, I forgot that it was this weekend or this past.
Yeah. You can be my spy. And then if she's any problems with my table, she's too bashful to bring up, let me know.
I love Leah so much, but the anxiety she had about texting you about her friend coming to visit from Michigan and being like, I will be vaccinated, she will be vaccinated, but like, we can like wait because I understand. And like, she was just like, I don't know how to word it. I'm like, just say that. Just tell me.
I like to think sincerely that I am a shockingly reasonable person.
Yeah.
And like, I feel like Leah's been around too many people who are toxic communicators.
I'm like, I can't speak for him, but for all of my experiments with Rob, he's very like chill and rational. So like, you bring it up, like it will be fine.
No, you're out.
Right? I'm like, I don't know what you think is gonna happen. Like,
at worst, the most I could be and still have a reasonable position is disappointed that she's gonna take 2 weeks off because I don't want to start her and then have a week off with her. Like, right. That's the worst reasonable position that I can think of. Yeah, I like Leah. I think she's okay. The problem I have with Leah is that she is very clever and she is very smart, but she is meek sometimes.
Yes.
And I need her to not be.
Fair.
But then she also roleplayed, which is great because one of my players doesn't roleplay as much as I would like him to. And my table has a lot of out of character talk, which I don't really mind. And I wanted to get the party together before I start being like, all right, guys, it's not that I need people to talk in character, it's that I need people to interact with scenes and like develop their own scenes and not wait for me to do everything. And now that Leah's here, I can tell that to the table.
Yeah, you like the people that like I could be like, okay, let's go, guys.
Because it is harder to do that when there's only two of you.
Right, because it feels more like a pointed statement.
Yeah, but like not even that. It's like they're in every scene together or they're solo. You know, they can break up a little bit when there's three of them.
Well, actually, that just made a thought to me. So, like, if you have like a solo thing you're doing with just one player, and it's something that like the character, like I guess I know this from this, you wouldn't you wouldn't do it like just by yourself. You wouldn't like wait until after the main session and do it separately. You would just do it in front of everyone, even though they weren't there.
Just, I'm not sure what you mean.
Okay, so like,
if I had a
for
scene
me,
for one character, would I do it in front of the rest of them?
kind of, yes. If it was like you were going, like your character's going off to talk to this person about stuff that like is kind of like maybe part of their backstory that no one knows yet, would you do that like separately with them, or would you just do it at the table?
I do it at the table, but it would then I would have to time it in such a way that the natural beats of that conversation land on scene changes so that other players can be doing other things.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
so it's more like a TV show
Yeah.
because
we've
because I've done stuff like that all the time where it actually works. It's I don't know. It's probably hard to do, like to be honest, but I've just done it a lot. Where like I've had people like two people go out and try to investigate something or sneak into a place, and then one character wants to like go talk to somebody, right?
Yeah.
So then it'll be like, all right, we're sneaking into this place. What do you do? Role play, and then you find the book you've been looking for. But as soon as you find it, like the door opens and a lantern starts to come inside the room. Cut. So you're talking to the person that you're trying to get the information from, and they just said, I'm going to kill you, or something. And like, what do you do? I do blank, blank, blank. Roll. While you're rolling, cut. What do you do about this lantern coming into the room, guys?
Yeah. Fair. Okay. Yeah, because we've done some stuff. So we've done a couple like time skippy stuff where it's like, okay, what did you do during the time skip? And that was all kind of like text RP'd, like by one-on-one. Because it's like, it was information you did off on your own. And we're about to have kind of one of those again, because it's going to be like, we had a boat, right? And then a lich put a portal on it, and we had to put it in a bottle, and now we're not sure if the portal's still attached, so Candlekeep people won't give us back our boat, but they give us money to buy a new boat. Also, we'd only had that boat for like 2 weeks.
No, that's super cool. We're doing a little bit of tech stuff, but it's mostly like fluff stuff. Like it's not important to the game. Like for example, did Leah tell you about this like fucking golden liquid they found?
No.
Okay.
No, I haven't told her. We haven't talked about the pin yet.
Okay, so like this is something that one of my players is doing, and he wrote something. It's really short and it's fucking great. So I want to read it to you really quick. Basically, they found files of some form of liquid, and he got a hard success on a combined roll of natural world, which is what the fuck is the world? Like just my basic wisdom sense of reality. So you got a hard success on that, medicine and pharmacology, and lost a sanity point so that he could discover this thing just by looking at the serum. And I explained it to him, and then this is what he wrote after the game. His name is Arthur Dibdin. Arthur Dibdin looked into the serum. It radiated a faint chemiluminescent glow, moving it into the gentle light of the group's flashlights through a shimmering effect through the fluid, a golden field of stars against an amber nebula. Dibdin looked into the serum. His medicinal lore told him the liquid, held in this type of vial, is meant to be imbibed. His experience with the natural world led him to believe it is a reproducible substance. Dibdin looked into the serum. His years spent memorizing chemical formulae pushed his mind into unraveling the likely components, and his driving curiosity prevented him from halting the extrapolation. Hundreds of bored or desperate soldiers imbibed, injected, or inhaled anything they could obtain even remotely psychoactive. Innumerable cases of disentangling the various toxicities started leading him to potential effects. Dibdin looked into the serum. Something in the back of his mind clicked. Dibdin looked into the serum. The shimmering vial of the amber liquid shifted towards the transparent. The curtain of the illusory star field parting to reveal an alien one. Understanding lanced through his mind, awakening him to the dangers of continued exploration, but Dibdin looked into the stars. The rise of a dozen unknown moons over an incomprehensible landscape fascinated his intellect. He delved into it, rushing to commit every detail to memory before the moment faded. Dibdin looked into the stars, and the stars looked into Dibdin.
Do they normally write like a summary about what happened after the game? Like
only sometimes. Right now he's writing personalized pen pal letters to a person with unknowable power they all believe is an eldritch being, and he's doing that out of game, and Ben is writing the responses and sending them back.
that's so good. That is like, I was hoping when you started, like, he looked at the serum, it was gonna go kind of like a he looked into the abyss and the abyss looked back, and I'm glad that it did. That's like very okay. So what is it? Is it like it's some type
Wouldn't you like to know?
That's amazing, but also I still have no idea what it is. I assume it's some type of like psychoactive thing.
No, you can't tell Leah. Because then,
no.
Yeah, you can't tell Leah because then she would know.
Yeah.
It is it's called Space Mead, and it's used in the intergalactic travel of space, which is how some of the monsters manage to make it to Earth. It allows you to withstand the vacuum. So that's why it's like he looked at an alien landscape, because it's like it recreates a chemical that exists on some alien planet, and you use it in combination with other things for like travel.
Okay.
Which is why it's way less interesting when I describe it that way.
Right. No. The player's description is like amazing.
Which is really awesome, because that was a much more floral and eloquent version of what I had described in the game, which was like, I want to roll these things. And then he got a hard success. And I'm like, well, lose some sanity. And then told him, you look in this, like, think of those, like, glittering epoxy type mixing bowls with like shimmering inside of it. And as you look in it, you can tell through your medicine roll that this is supposed to be ingested or imbibed in some way. And through your natural world roll, you can tell that this is actually reproducible. But with your pharmacology roll, you're trying to figure out what's actually inside of it, and then, because you also rolled your Cthulhu Mythos and you can see past it, you see through the glimmering shimmer of it in the light, and then you see an alien landscape on the other side. Everyone else is looking at you and seeing yourself just lost in this fucking liquid, and he's like, nope, I'm committing it to memory. And then he rolled like an extreme intelligence success to be like, I'm committing this alien landscape with moons and stars I don't recognize and colors I have a hard time understanding, and I'm going to put it in my mind so that way I can redraw it later.
Oh god.
And then from that he wrote that.
That's fucking sick.
These are my tables. That's just the sort of thing you can expect in my game.
I love RP. So much fun. Role playing's great.
It's probably unfair, and I'm not claiming your table does this, but it's so much better than just like, I rolled a hit! 2 damage!
No. Yeah, okay, so like this definitely happens at our table sometimes where it's like, someone rolls like a perception check and then they fail, and then everyone's like, well, I also roll a perception check, or like, you have someone who's always like, I'm rolling insight and then they roll a dice, you know?
Right.
It's not like they don't go, can I tell if you, like, I'm more of the mindset of, like, if I'm a GM, you don't ask for insight, you ask to be like, do I think this person's, like, on the up and up? Like, you ask something like that, and then you get told to roll insight. Like, I don't enjoy people pre-rolling stuff. Because I'm like, well, maybe that's not what I was going to have you roll. Or maybe you would have just gotten information, like, based on, like, your passive perception or something, like.
Hard agree. In Call of Cthulhu, there's a rule that says, like, if you have 50% in a skill, you're just considered proficient at it.
Yeah.
So then you can just, oftentimes I just give people with that skill that information.
Yeah. Like, you don't need to roll because you would know this. Like, yeah. So.
It has been fun talking to you.
I should, like, actually go finish my exam, though, because it's the only thing I have to do for the rest of like, this is the last day of finals. This is the only thing I've left for the semester, but I've been avoiding it for 3 days.
Egads.
It's really easy. I can tell the professor gave up because I'm just, like, even half-assing working on it right now. This final is way too fucking easy than it should be. Like...
Or maybe you just learned.
It's definitely probably a mix more of the first one, because
Okay.
I think he wanted something he could grade quickly.
You would definitely know.
Yeah.
You would
Well,
definitely know
yeah.
the material more than I would.
True. But yeah, so I should go finish it. But it was nice talking to you. I'll have to ask Leah about how to give me more information about her character. And
I
everything
am
here.
desperately curious how she liked it. So yes, do talk to her and be my spy and be like, she loved it, or Rob, you suck. She hated it and she's never coming back.
She's gonna tell you it's this, but this is the real reason why.
But you know better, Rob. You'll know the real reason.
Okay. Alright, have a good rest of your day.
See you.
Bye.
And then with that, that's actually going to be a good time for me to end here because I have some stuff to do today. So I will talk to you guys later. Bye.